Hi everyone, Nicole Littman with Aurelian Coaching. Thanks for joining this week. This week we are talking about assertiveness. And the reason this is coming up is because I've had a couple of clients that as I'm doing some management coaching and career coaching with them, when I ask them the question that employers ask, right, and their managers sometimes ask, this question of perceived weaknesses or shortcomings, assertiveness often comes up. And I think it's fascinating. When I ask the people who have told me that they are not assertive enough, when I ask them whether that is their own conclusion, like they've evaluated all of their past behaviors and their past decisions, and they themselves have come to the conclusion that being more assertive in those situations would have served them better, the answer is no. Turns out they are taking on that perceived weakness or shortcoming based on what other people are saying, like their managers, or they've gotten a performance feedback, or sometimes it's even loved ones who are telling them, you really ought to be more assertive. Assertive how? And based on what criteria? Okay. So I really want to address this issue from the standpoint of mindset and how we're thinking about assertiveness and how it serves us. Okay, there are two things in particular that I want to talk about when it comes to assertiveness. And the first one is a concept that is not new. If you've been watching our videos, it's very much a growth mindset concept, which is that assertiveness, your decisions about whether to be assertive or how assertive to be, is not a fundamental characteristic of your personality. It's not. I promise you that, okay? In all different kinds of situations, dealing with all sorts of different people, just recognize that given a certain set of circumstances, you are making a decision about whether to be assertive and how assertive to be. Everything is all of it is optional, okay? Now, it might not feel like a proactive decision in the moment, right? You may just be reacting, right? If you're not assertive enough, if you've been told you're not assertive enough, it might be because your initial reaction to things is to retract, right? Maybe there's a lot going on, maybe emotions are running high, and you step back. That's neutral, okay? That is the decision that you made in the moment. Maybe you've received the feedback that you're way too assertive, that maybe the word that has been used for you is aggressive. That also is a choice, and it's a choice that's based on your mood, the mood of others, the people involved, the circumstances. All of that stuff combines for you to have a reaction of, I'm going to really jump in there. I feel so strongly about this, right? That is a choice. It's a choice every single time. Okay. Which means growth mindset, right? Which means that anytime you want to make a different choice, you can absolutely do that. You can absolutely do that. But here's the thing. It's really, really, really hard to make a different decision about being assertive, frankly, about being anything, when the motivating factor is just somebody else wants you to be that way, right? It's really hard because then you're going against your instincts. Now, what I coach people to do is make an independent assessment for themselves. Do they think they need to be more assertive? Or is the way that they are deploying their assertiveness working just fine for them? Thank you very much. If that's the case, I mean, the CEO of the company could tell you that you should be more assertive, and it would be really, really hard to do. Okay, so that's number one. It is not a fundamental part of your personality. It's not as though either you are assertive or you are not assertive, okay? You are making a judgment call in any situation that you're in about how to engage, okay? Which means that going forward, if you yourself determine that you would like to be more assertive or less assertive, guess what? You can. You can. Okay, so that's number one. Now, number two is once I get past that point with my clients where they make an independent assessment and they determine, yeah, I would like to change the way I engage. I would like to be more assertive, less assertive. They can see for themselves a reason why it would better serve them, either in relationship building, in their careers, in dealing with their kids even, right? They are making a decision about changing how to be assertive. Then the question becomes, okay, well, how do I do that? How do I do that? It can be a very self-conscious thing, right? Especially in the workplace. If you've received feedback that you are too much one way and you need to be the other way, now there's all this pressure. Now all eyes are on you. It can feel this way, right? All eyes are on you to be different, to say something different, to engage differently, right? Here's the way to change how assertive you want to engage in certain situations. And the way to do it is to, this is going to sound weird, but stay with me. You take yourself out of the equation. It's no longer about you, okay? There is usually some higher purpose, some outside goal or objective, right? Something outside the individuals at play that we're all trying to work toward. If you keep that outside goal or objective or purpose top of mind and evaluate whether to be assertive and how assertive to be through the lens of that outside objective, it relieves a lot of pressure. Relieves a lot of pressure about it just being about you and how assertive you are, right? And now you're making an informed decision about how much to engage, how much to advocate based on what we're all trying to accomplish. Okay? So think about in situations, and if you're a part of Skill Masters, you can go to aureliancoaching.com and you can sign up. It's free. You can sign up at the top bar, just put in your name and email address and you'll get this. But for folks that are part of the free Skill Masters membership, you know we do this every week. The way we practice these skills is instead of just trying to do things better in the future, we actually go into the past, okay? Because the past is very rich in examples for us to go back and reevaluate how we might have handled it differently, okay? And this, in terms of assertiveness, is a really, really wonderful skill to use past examples with, right? And this is agnostic to outcome. So it doesn't matter how it might have played out differently in the past. This is only about how you may have communicated differently, how you may have made decisions differently, right? It's exploring all the options that you had in a past example. And because it's a past example, everything's tangible, right? You know the situation or the circumstance, you know the people at play, you know the combination of personalities, right? So the past always provides us with a lot of rich, robust experience for us to go back and kind of reflect on and reevaluate when we're considering new skills. So if there was a situation in the past where you think, you know what, it might have served me a lot better if I had practiced being more assertive. Well, what does that mean? Again, remove yourself from the equation. In that particular example, is there an overarching theme or purpose? Was it part of a group project where you want a team where you were all working toward a common goal? Was it maybe a private issue where you were really trying to communicate something toward a larger purpose for a very particular reason? Why would it have been beneficial for you to be more assertive? Have that as your goalpost, right? Because that way it takes away a lot of the pressure about how you should be, and sorry, interruption, how you should be and what you should do, and instead have a larger goal be your driver. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about this week. So regarding assertiveness, remember there are two things. Number one, it is not a fundamental character trait. At any point in time, you can proactively make a decision to be more assertive, less assertive, to completely disengage, right? At any point, you can make a choice. A choice. Your behavior is a choice. Okay. Secondly, is if you do want to be more assertive and you're really nervous about that, it gives you a lot of discomfort and you don't know how to do it, focus less on all the pressure that you are putting on yourself to be a different way. Don't go down that path. Instead, find a purpose, a goal, an objective, right? The reason why being more assertive would better serve you, and use that as a way. And then you're just, then it's not even defined as assertive or not assertive. If that's your goal, and then this is the choice that you're making, the words that you're choosing, the behavior and the actions that you're choosing in order to serve that larger purpose. And then this whole concept of assertiveness just kind of goes away, okay? All right, so hopefully that's useful. If you're part of Skill Masters, you will be getting a tool tomorrow in your email inbox that walks you through this exercise and gets you more practiced, more comfortable with the concept of changing things up, evaluating in the moment, whether you want to be assertive and how assertive to be. Okay, so next week we are going to be talking about kind of a touchy issue for mid-career professionals. I have a lot of people who are coming to me and asking me a really, really tough question. And that is, how do I know, how do I really know that it makes sense to leave my job and do something else? Is it enough to be dissatisfied and unhappy? Is it that I just think that the grass is greener on the other side, and if I left, I'd be making a huge mistake, right? In mid-career, there are so many other factors involved than when people were much younger and perhaps unattached and didn't have families and didn't have all these other financial goals in the middle of their career that they didn't have when they were younger. So I want to talk about that next week. There's going to be a blog post on Wednesday, Facebook Live on Thursday, and then if you're a part of the Aurelian Skill Masters group, you'll get an email and a tool on Friday. That's how it always works. So hopefully you found this helpful. Join us next week, same place and same time, where we're going to be talking about mid-career job changes and what to consider there. Okay, so have a great week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.